Right. So, Philip, tell us what initially attracted you to iCG?
Um, initially, well, honestly, initially I was on ZipRecruiter and LinkedIn. I mean, I'm sorry, and Indeed, and I was pretty much,
Mhm.
on the job hunt. I had did a I had did a program, so to speak, in sales development, and this was pretty much my first job in the role of a BDR. So I was just basically applying to see
Okay.
what's out there, to see who would give me an interview and give me a shot. So
Okay.
Lorraine reached out to me. We actually had a great first interview, and
Mhm.
I had a follow-up interview with the team with Kia as well as I believe Nate and Sally, and it went great as well. So I've realized that it's a pretty uh pretty wholesome team. It's just a good experience all around so far, initially and up to now.
Okay, that's great. Now, you can just give us a bit of background, like since you finished, school or college, what have you been up to between then and iCG?
Okay, so ICG. Before ICG, I've been through a lot. I have experience in a variety of different industries. I worked for well, first of all, I actually lived outside of the US right after high school. I went to college briefly down there for a bit. I lived in Grenada for 5 years, and I lived in Guyana in South America for 4 years. My mom's originally
Wow.
from Guyana. So yeah, I went to school out there.
Okay.
I went to school in Grenada right after high school, and I worked with my mom for a lot. We had a family business uh, on a cruise ship terminal. We sold arts and crafts to cruise ship passengers. From there in
Oh,
Guyana, I became a concert cameraman. I was filming concerts for a living. I was traveling around the Caribbean. It was actually really fun. I filmed cricket and some other sports like
yeah.
professional sports. Cricket, the West
Sounds
Indies
cool.
versus South Africa. Yes, so it was actually really
Okay.
fun. From
Hmm.
there, I came back to the US. When I came back to the US, I got into sales. I was an appointment setter, working for a solar
Hmm.
company, doing something very similar to what I do here now, basically making cold calls,
Okay.
attempting to book appointments. The only difference was that was business to consumer, where we're business to business. So I was basically calling people at
Okay.
their house, trying to qualify them, hey, which was a lot more difficult than what I do here now. At least the business folks are a
Yeah,
little more professional. I haven't been
I
cussed out
would
yet.
think so.
But from there, I had a
Hmm.
couple of sales jobs. I continued from the solar. I moved into it with another organization. We did a business to consumer as well. We sold siding
Hmm.
and basically windows for home improvement. From there,
Okay.
I worked for a technology company. They were called Cap Technology. They manufactured
Hmm.
ultra capacitors and battery cells. So I was an
Hmm.
operator, machine operator, basically. Getting the
Okay.
materials ready for the engineering team for production. Then the pandemic hit,
Hmm.
and then when the pandemic hit, of course, that was a startup, so they kind of went under. But I ended up moving, and I ended up working
Hmm.
for Amazon for a bit. So I worked for Amazon for about 2 years, and from Amazon is where I came currently to ICG. So that was in a nutshell,
Okay.
my work experience and my travels, etc.
Wow, such a rich history.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
still young.
what? Yeah, yeah, that's that's what comes to mind. You've done so many things in quite a short time.
Yep, 34 now, so I'm looking forward to the next 50 years.
So, what do you enjoy most about your job?
What do I enjoy most about it? Honestly, let me see here. I enjoy the challenge of it because it's not easy. It's not easy to pick up a phone and, call someone and spark an interest in their mind to sit down and talk with you and do business with your company. But I do like the challenge of it. I am a people person. I'm a bit of an
Mhm.
extrovert, so talking to people to me it's kind of natural. I look forward
Okay,
to those are what I enjoy in my current role here now, and I just look forward to growing and having a successful sales career. So
great. How do you feel about ICG's company culture?
so far I think it's amazing. I've had the good fortune of meeting most of the company and so far in person, and they're genuinely good people. I have nothing but good things to say, and
Great.
yeah, it's a great culture. We joke, they joke around, and the beauty of the company that I like is I like smaller companies and more startup environments to where you can actually interact with, your the execs and the higher ups versus a company where you're just a number and you'll never, in a satellite office and no one ever knows you. So I like the family feel and that everyone's kind of close knit.
Yeah, family. I like that word. Yeah, it feels like a family. So the next question is, what motivates you to come to work every day? What made you want to work this morning?
Uh, Besides the obvious, needing to have money for life, but no, but on a serious note, just within what we do, every time that we book a meeting, because we hear no every single day, Walter, as you could imagine, right? If you call someone, they're not
Yeah,
expecting my call. I'm not interested,
yeah,
Philip, or no, thank you, or we don't have. So what motivates me is the possibility, and of course, I've booked meetings and I'll book many more in the future, but it's the possibility of knowing that I'm never going to know when that yes comes. The only way that I'm going to know is me just getting up and doing it. So my motivation, is
okay.
just today I might be able to get 2 or 3 meetings, but I'm never going to know unless I get up in the morning, get my coffee ready and I just do it, so that's what motivates me.
Yeah, great. You just made me want to drink that coffee.
I'm gonna get another cup.
Uh,
It's still early.
sure. What do you feel is ICG's greatest strength?
ICG's greatest strength, I think it's our people, you know. I think whatever task that comes our way, we'll be able to figure it out. We'll be able to customize a solution for whoever the organization might be and be able to help them, save money, grow, scale, etc.
Fantastic. And do you feel like your job aligns with your long-term career goals?
Yes, it does. For me, it does. Yeah, definitely. I with my because
Okay.
I've that was one thing I was just gonna say real briefly. One thing when in my younger years, as I said earlier, I've done many different things. I realized
Yeah.
that having the flexibility of you see sales is the type of thing that, of course, I love working for ICG, but it spans across any industry. So I think that the flexibility of the skill set that you learn here can kind of help you anywhere you go in life for any company, regardless of the situation.
Sure, that's true. Uh, do you feel like your skills and abilities are being fully utilized in your role?
My skills and abilities are being fully utilized. Uh,
Yeah.
yes, yes, I would say that. I'd say so. We we have a pretty simple job at the moment, and our job is just to book meetings and get them in front of our reps. So I guess I'm trying. There's a certain skill set that you do need to have, but that helps you develop other skills. So when you do grow to maybe a sales rep or a BDR manager or something, it kind of helps. Yeah, that's a tough one. So I'm kind of dancing around that, but yeah, I believe so.
It's okay. I fully understand you. How do you feel about the company's work-life balance policies?
It's I don't have a problem with it. So far the vacation and the time off benefits are fair. They're fine. I have no complaints with that. Obviously, we're we're a nine to five Monday through Friday kind of an organization because obviously I can't call people on the weekends who are home or so the balance is pretty much there. It's standard job, a standard 9 to 5.
Okay. And what benefits do you value the most from your job?
Benefits, I'd say uh well, one of the benefits that I really like is the fact that we have Udemy Academy in which we can, in
Yeah.
our free time go and gain other skills. That's something I greatly value there, something I want to utilize more. I value Lorraine. The company didn't just hire me and throw me a HubSpot and just tell me to figure it out. We have someone along the way to coach us and kind of nurture us. That's a great benefit to have.
Mhm.
The actual benefits are good that we have the health benefits and things like that and the time off stuff and also I've been to a couple I'm going to a couple conferences with the company, so that's something that usually you don't do at a entry level sales job. So it's pretty cool that they're investing in their BDRs and that it seems like they value us a lot.
Yeah, yeah. How do you feel about the level of recognition and appreciation you receive for your work?
It's fair. I think it's fair. I think when we have, there's been a few meetings that I've booked that have turned into deals that they pretty much gave me the
Mhm.
recognition that I needed. But and also to be fair, there's been times where it's been a little slow in the season, and that's why we have check-ins, and accountability is accountability, and we have to figure out what's going on and how can we improve. So it's fair. I think everything's pretty fair across the board.
Okay, and how would you describe the relationships you have with your colleagues and your superiors?
With my superiors, I'd say very professional, very
Mhm.
understanding. Uh, Probably some of the best bosses I've had or superiors I've had in my work life so far. My colleagues, same
Okay,
thing. Very relaxed and very a professional, but also very casual relationship. Very, very relaxed.
nice. I love the word you used earlier. It's like family.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
what do you feel sets ICG apart from the other companies you've worked for in the past?
Let's see here. So I've worked for a few, like Amazon, for example, right? They're so big that there was no real company culture capacity that I worked. But
Yeah.
I'd say what sets ICG apart from other companies I worked for in the past would be, like you said, the family. I'd say the family culture. That's something that's really working for them because I've worked for
Mhm.
some of the other business to consumer or appointment setting positions that I've had. It wasn't a family atmosphere. It was just the CEO who cared about money, and his employees were just
Mhm.
a means to an end. So it's just that familial respect
Okay,
type of environment.
great. Okay, so we'll go to a set of questions that are about your personal professional development. So these ones are not specifically about ICG, but just your entire professional development. So what inspired you to pursue your current career path, and how did you get started?
So what inspired me to pursue it was, when the pandemic hit, it was the pandemic, honestly, COVID-19, because when it hit, I ended up my company shut down, and I ended up moving from Sacramento, kind of where I currently live now. I ended up moving to Las Vegas, and I ended up working for
Mhm.
Amazon, and I hated working for Amazon. And we were overworked. We weren't really compensated well. So what I did is
Okay.
I went online and I found a sales development program, and it was a 3-month program. I ended up completing that. It had three
Mhm.
different. It taught us pretty much everything that I'm doing in my job now. And from there, once I graduated that, I realized my life, like, from having been in so many different industries, I need to, and I'm in my
Mhm.
30s at this point. It's like I need to focus on one particular career path and one with growth as well. And so I like the idea of being able to make commission on top of your regular salary. So that's what's appealing to me in sales as well. Plus, yeah,
Okay.
I plan to move up to an account executive position, hopefully in the future.
Absolutely. And I pray that works out. What have been the most significant challenges you faced in your career so far, and how have you ever overcome them?
I'd say one of them was finding an organization that values you as an employee. But I think
Mhm.
like I said earlier, I think I found that here at ICG. But that's been a big one. It's because sometimes it's like you're just an employee, just do your job. We're paying you to do it, you know, and
Yeah,
then that doesn't really motivate the employee too much outside doing the.
sure.
That was a challenge, but yeah, I think it's pretty much been overcome now.
Okay, that's fantastic. How do you stay up to date on the latest developments in your industry? Do you have specific resources that you use for your own professional development?
Yeah, I funny enough, I do. Like I said, I utilize the some of the academies that we have, like Udemy. I'm gonna start
Yeah,
utilizing a HubSpot Academy in my free time
sure.
because I'm cold calling and business development rep. I do watch YouTube videos and things of that nature to get advice on the best ways to speak to a prospect, to handle objections, things like that. And I also read
Okay.
books. I downloaded a few ebooks as far as in the
Mhm.
finance, the payment industry, so I can understand some of the terms and some of the technologies that we offer.
Awesome. That's really awesome. I'm also a big fan of reading books and taking online courses. Uh, Now let's flip the script. What has been your proudest moment in your career to date, and why was it significant to you?
Proudest moment in my career to date. Hmm, it's a good question. See, I've done so many, like I said, my career spanned in so many different industries. But
Yeah.
if just working life in general, my proudest moments have probably been my funnest moments, which when I was a concert cameraman, because I got to
Hmm.
film some pretty famous people. I met Rick Ross, one of the rappers. I met a lot
Ah.
of Caribbean artists. Beanie Man, I met him. I shook his hand,
Hmm.
and I met
Okay.
Bob Marley's son, Damian Marley. Sorry. So yeah,
Wow.
so those are just cool moments. So I guess I was proud to have an opportunity to have that kind of a job, and yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
pretty awesome. Just overall, yeah,
Okay. I hope you got a bunch of autographs.
yeah, I did.
Okay. So let's assume you're talking to another Philip out there who's maybe half your age, 17, 18, and he wants to start out, he wants to be like you. What advice would you give him when he's just starting out in his career?
So okay, he'd like to be like me, so to speak. I
Yeah, he
tell him,
wants to be a BDR for
to
ICG.
be a
Yeah.
BDR. Okay, for ICG.
Yeah.
Okay, I would tell him, I'm a big believer in education. My mom was, of course, all my family is. So I'd say,
Mhm.
it doesn't hurt to go that route. Major in whatever you want, but the main
Mhm.
thing would be to develop people skills, the soft skills, as far as being empathetic with people, as far as listening to understand and comprehend. And these are skills that you're going to
Mhm.
need when you're speaking to prospects and things of that nature. Depending on what he'd want to go to school for, I'd say business or something along those lines. That would pretty much qualify him to get into the door and just to be positive every single day. Because, like I said earlier,
Okay.
Walter, if you call 70, 80 people a day and you only have 3 conversations where they actually listen to you, it can be a little bit
Yeah,
downing and depressing, and the next day you
I
might be like, I
know.
don't want to do this. So you have to have a positive mentality and you have to just brush it
Yeah.
off, just go on to the next one.
Okay. What keeps you focused? You might go 2, 3 days getting no's, don't call me again, call me later. Some people don't pick your calls. What keeps you focused on those crazy days?
Honestly, I just force myself, because I'm an adult and it's like I just have to be an adult and be responsible. And
Okay.
these people aren't here in my room where I'm working. So at the end of the day, is if it's a bad conversation, like I said, we're calling businesses, so it's never been anything too extreme. But you know, if somebody's not interested or they just won't give me the time and day, I just force it out of my mind and I move on to the next one because like I said, I do value the company. It's a great. I love working for it, and they expect me to make calls and do what I'm supposed to do. So that's me giving back. I gotta just do what I'm supposed to do.
Great. How do you balance your professional development with your personal life and other commitments? So I think you've mentioned your mom, you've mentioned you're an extrovert, you like the outdoors. So how do you balance your work with your personal stuff?
Um, well, I have a pretty active life, so to speak. I have a lot of things going on outside of work, so I think that that's very important. When it's time for work, it's time for work, obviously. But as far as balancing it, I think there's a pretty equal balance. Like I said, within our industry, Walter, we legally, it wouldn't make any sense to contact a prospect outside of a business hours or business day. So pretty much that pretty much
Yeah.
sets my work life schedule, so to speak. But yeah, I have a bunch of things I'm into. I'm an amateur videographer, so we have a studio that we built in our backyard where we do like content for
Wow.
YouTube and stuff like that. And I have a few hobbies. I try to go to the gym at least once a week. But yeah, things like that.
Okay. Wow, okay, that's nice. It's good you're keeping in shape.
I'm trying
Um,
to.
okay. So we're done with the official questions. We're just finishing up with the a few humorous questions to end on.
Okay.
Number one, if you could rename our company, what would you name it and why?
Rename our company. Uh, Probably rename it You Better Buy From Us Now because we're the best payment company out there.com.
Wow, I like that. Okay, if you could swap jobs with anybody in the company for just one day, who would it be and why?
I probably swap jobs with Kia because
Okay.
because he's my boss and I'd like to see from his point of view how things are going and from his
Mhm.
point of view what the BDRs do. That way when I swap back, I could have a clear cut definition of what my boss expects of me. It's kind of like a cheat sheet, and that way I'll just kind of do it and
Okay. Yeah, you get the bird's eye view.
the inside view, exactly. The bird's eye view, exactly.
Okay, and if you could add a ridiculous job perk to your role, what would it be?
Ridiculous job perk.
Yeah.
Let's see here, a ridiculous job perk. I'd say okay, this is ridiculous. I'd say I work 2 days a week, but in that 2 days, for one day I make one day I do a 12-hour shift and I make 500 calls or 400
Mhm.
calls. The next day I do a 12-hour shift and I make 500 calls and I have the other 3 days off.
Yeah, yeah, that's a very good one. Uh, a final one. If you had to describe your job using only emojis, which one would they be? Which ones would they be and why?
Only emojis? Okay. My job using only emojis. It would be the phone emoji, of course. It would
Yeah.
be credit card emoji, the money
Mhm.
emoji, and the smiley
Mhm.
emoji because customers are
Nice.
happy.
Okay. Wow. Okay, I really love that. That's a great way to end the call. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate. You actually have amazing people skills. No wonder you're punching those great numbers out there.
Oh, thank you.